Y'all know how we do NFL. We do Falcons Focus first, and then we go to the news around the league. We're gonna talk about first the All Pros. Shout out to the All Pros. Can I do this? Nope.
We got
Shout out to the All Pros. Clap, 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 clap. Kyle Pitts, second team All Pro. Chris Lindstrom, second team All Pro. Jesse Bates, second team safety All Pro. Bijan, first team. Y'all know what it is. Should be in the running for MVP, but it is what it is. Bijan, first team All Pro. I love this. What's your thoughts on it before I say anything?
Jesse Bates, check. I mean, I'm cool with this. I appreciate it all. And even Kyle Pitts. And I hate to have to say it like that because he's just a weird player to me. Number one, congratulations on being All-Pro second team. And you still had a hell of a season. You caught touchdowns. When Drake London wasn't available, you were the wide receiver one. You held it down because Mooney wasn't there. Like, you did your job, and I can never say that you didn't. I'm still reluctant to pay him. I'm reluctant to franchise tag him. I don't know exactly how we move forward with him, but I think that he's at least. I mean, he's done a good job for himself, and I think overall his team played really well. It's the coaching that was the problem. Y'all just got bad parents. Sometimes they're good children with bad parents.
I am happy for all of these guys. To me, and yes, I'm probably being a homer because of that right there. Falcons. I think Xavier Watts deserves some consideration for second team. I know you had Xavier McKinney for Green Bay. You had Hufanga from Denver, who was on the best defense in the league. So I get it. But Xavier Watts had 4 interceptions, 11 pass breakups. He is the best rookie safety out of the draft, statistically wise. Now, Eamon Wari, of course, plays literally every position. So he's not going to defend as many passes. But in terms of a safety, what he does, I would have liked to see him get some more consideration.
And if not this year, I think he got one on the way. I think that him and Jesse Bates over the top and Billy Bowman, boy.
Well, if you remember how they started using him, was they let Jesse Bates roam,
right,
and they let him go over the top.
Exactly.
And that's when he started getting all them picks, and it was like, oh, y'all in trouble because Jesse Bates likes to rob. Christian McCaffrey got robbed for first team. I do not agree.
I don't agree either. You see Bijan right there, right?
I think Christian McCaffrey got robbed for being. I don't know. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's tough, but James Cook is your rushing leader. You can't leave the rushing leader off of your All-Pro team, right?
But
Bijan, I think, led the league in all-purpose yards and is not a special teams player.
He is. It was most yards from scrimmage this season, and he's had the most yards from scrimmage since like 2023 in total. You can't get the guy who got the most yards. Yeah.
No returning kicks, no returning punts. He doesn't, and he splits. I ain't gonna say splits time, but he doesn't get all the carries.
Right.
Christian McCaffrey, who gets like 99% of the carries.
Right. And the other part is he was available for more games. I mean, Bijan versus Christian McCaffrey. I think so. I'm pretty sure. I feel like McCaffrey still missed some games.
I don't think so.
But yeah, I think Bijan, if we won more games, would be in the conversation for MVP. If we could have helped him, then yeah.
I mean, if we win the division and make the playoffs, Bijan is in the MVP conversation. But Matt Stafford had like 48 touchdowns, so it is what it is. Now, the Falcons have made some moves over the last week. Arthur Blank, if you remember last week, for a quick callback, Arthur Blank developed this. He hired a consulting firm, which came back and basically gave him the advice of separating the president of Arthur Blank Sports, president of football, and the GM into different positions.
Entities, yes.
Entities. Hold on one second.
Yes. So in that time, we have hired your boy.
Sorry. So now, sorry. So we got the consulting K1 out there fighting sleep. We brought in and started a president of football. And separated the president of football from being a GM. That is now being brought on and hired Matt Ryan, longtime NFL Atlanta Falcon quarterback, arguably one of the greatest Falcons of all time, if not the greatest.
Oh, ain't no arguably. He's number 2. Julio number 1, Matt Ryan number 2.
That's what I was saying. Julio. That's why I said arguably, because Julio. And then bring him on as president of football. There were a lot of thoughts on this. What were your thoughts of Matt Ryan brought in as a president of football to where everybody in the organization for the Atlanta Falcons in the operations standpoint of management of the roster report to him now? GM, coach, head coach, everybody reports to Matt Ryan now. What are your thoughts of bringing him on?
For me, there are a couple things here. I think that he's been doing this unofficially with Arthur Blank for a while. I think that, basically Matt Ryan has been Arthur Blank's saving grace since him and Michael Vick fell out. He's been there through everything. He saved us when, a lot of teams, they lose a quarterback like that. It's tough to find another one. There are a lot of teams who've been looking for quarterbacks for a long time. And Matt Ryan came into a situation. He worked with us. He's always been a professional. He's had a good attitude. He's not a guy who, hey, I need my own locker room. He's not a diva. None of his teammates have ever said anything negative about him. Once again, I think the guy is going to be a Hall of Famer. He's a top 10 passing guy. I think he has a very high football acumen, and he loves Atlanta. He loves the fucking Falcons. This is a team that most people do not love. Y'all, we don't have a bunch of guys who are like, oh, I'm committed to coming back. I love this organization. He had a good ass job. And he had got to the point, and with his good ass job, where he didn't have to go to games anymore. He was there. So I go do this for probably 18 weeks out of the season, and that's it. And he said, no, I want to come back to Atlanta. I want to help this team be better. So number one, you have a guy he represents the team the right way. He ain't never been, team and city. Ain't never been in no shit. Ain't never made no racist comments. Ain't never stole no money from Mississippi. He ain't got caught up with Jerry Jones in no bait. None of that. Clean. When our money was funny and we was trying to put together a team, he said, pay me later. I don't know what anybody can say negative about Matt Ryan other than the 28-3 joke, which even in that, he still loved this place. It's a lot of people who that would have broke their heart, broke their soul. Never, I just can't do it no more. And yet and still, he chose Atlanta. So, yeah, y'all know I fuck with Matt Ryan a long way.
So, for me, the biggest talking points I heard, not only from the group, but I actually went and listened over since this hire. I've read and listened to many a podcast and pundits talk about his experience and saying, why would you hire somebody with no experience? This never happened. It never works out. And those people are ill-informed. Most teams will bring in, not most teams, a lot of teams have brought in players that are affiliated with that are endeared or loved by that team. So Matt Ryan is invested in the future of the Falcons because he loves the Falcons. One, I think that will, for Arthur Blank, that supersedes experience, because you know that he's going to do everything he can to have a direction for this team. Remember, he talked about the reason he fired Terry Fontenot and everybody is because they couldn't tell him what the direction of the team was, or he couldn't tell what it was. But for me, this has happened before. This isn't the first time somebody brought in a football guy out of TV to be a GM or president. John Lynch was just hired by the 49ers. Not just hired, because he's been there for a while now. But he was a color commentator for Fox, doing the exact same thing that Matt Ryan was doing. And they brought him in to be GM of the 49ers. When the 49ers were down bad. Down bad. They brought him in, and he immediately won GM of the year. Put a pause right there. Nico Collins is now out of the game against the Steelers, the wide receiver for the Texans, with a concussion, being carted off the field because he can't open his eyes. So that changes things a lot, as it is 7-6 in the fourth quarter. Back to it. There have been John Lynch was a Fox color commentator, and then he became GM and president of football operations for the 49ers. And he won GM of the year, executive of the year. Now, that's a high bar to say Matt Ryan will win executive of the year, but this is not unknown. This is not new. Chris Spielman is probably a better conversation to have and a better comparison because he was with the Lions when the Lions sucked. And he was dedicated to Detroit. He's dedicated to that team. The owner brought him in and it created a whole nother position called, he was the president. He started out, he special something to the president where everybody reported to him, essentially the same position. And he was instrumental in turning around that culture that went 0-16 twice and changing around and endearing that team back to the city. Y'all remember there wasn't nobody going to the games in Detroit because they suck. So and then now, since y'all want to bring up anybody else, the Raiders just did it with Tom Brady. Tom Brady is owner and president. He don't got no experience of either. Nothing.
Right.
Nada. Zero. So if you're going to come up here and try to talk about experience, y'all make sure y'all have the whole conversation. Don't try to sit up here and say, oh, Matt Ryan, this, that, and third. Do your research. It's happened before. Will it happen again? I don't know. But if you're going to take a gamble on something where you have to figure out a way to improve a team and improve the culture of the team and change it from a losing culture, why not go get the winningest quarterback in team history? Took us to our one of two Super Bowl appearances.
And I feel pretty confident that Matt Ryan and Arthur Blank were talking on the side, and he was like, hey, I would rather you do this full time. And it keeps us. Yeah. And that keeps us from getting into any trouble with any type of us having a conversation. And I think Matt Ryan liked broadcasting. I think he was good enough at it, but he's a footballer. This guy likes football. And I think that he is a guy who can. The other thing that I saw was Matt and Mike. He's going to be able to go sit down with Michael Penix. Hey, let's make this thing work. This is after Arthur Blank said Michael Penix is our guy. And I think that Matt Ryan, as the president of football, is one of the few people who can go to the offensive coordinator, whoever that may be, the head coach and the defensive coordinator, and talk football and people not be offended. If it's some GM that they never played football, who's just a smart guy, who's good with money, they're like, hey, bro, get out of here. Get out of here. But if Matt Ryan comes into the quarterback's room and sits down and has a seat, hey, I just want to see what y'all got going, who's going to have an issue with that?
Not me.
Not a soul.
And y'all also know that because he's so young, he has relationships. We've interviewed the Bears. I think the Bears assistant GM who we interviewed for the same position, which I think was a sham in terms of reporting for an interview of that same position. I think this was Matt Ryan's position to lose. I think the Bears assistant GM is going to be our GM. And why is he going to be our GM? Because Matt Ryan and Ryan Poles, the Bears GM, played together at Boston College.
Right.
Ryan Poles helped Matt Ryan prepare for this interview. He has connections around the league, which you have to be able to do that in order to be successful. So I think this is a home run for now. At least it helps you when it comes to, again, like Ansi Saleh, continuity. It brings continuity here. It brings a shared vision. Arthur Blank don't have to worry.
He's taking this team to the highest heights of anybody. And Atlanta just ain't the place to choose. We don't have a long story history. We don't have a bunch of championships. He loves us. He want to be here. And that means a lot.
Yeah.
But so we happy. It. Yes. And we got to all y'all who didn't like it, y'all can kiss my ass because I'm riding with my boy Matt Ryan till the wheel fall off. And that's that on that. Now, moving on.
So now we've completed interviews with multiple people. We had a phone conversation with John Harbaugh. So they don't really count that.
We interviewed him. Falcons interviewed him. He had long phone conversation with multiple people. He was interviewed by the Atlanta Falcons. They believe, it's just what I'm reading, that Harbaugh strongly is deciding between the New York Giants and the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not sure that that's true, but I'm pretty. Thank you, Nessa. I 1,000% agree. But I think that if I look at all the jobs, the Falcons job is the best job available currently. Other than the Ravens job, which he cannot go back to.
I don't think he should go. To. I'm wary of John Harbaugh because if his demands are true, that he wants $20 million a year.
He rebuffed that already. So even if it was true,
and he wants to hire his own GM,
that's not good.
Atlanta does not have a GM, but that's tough. And you had that, I believe. Now you would assume that Matt Ryan was in on those conversations, but I don't know if Matt Ryan. I wouldn't do it.
Well, the Giants already have their GM too. They never fired that guy. He's still there. So, the GM for the Giants,
correct. So I don't know if I would do that. But the rest of this list: Mike McDaniel, Evero from the Panthers, Durde from the Seahawks, Halfley from the Packers. A lot of defensive guys. Vance Joseph defense. Then, of course, Kevin Stefanski, Anthony Weaver, and Clint Kubiak. I'm not a fan. Yeah, this Texas defense, Josh, is playing out of their mind. This Anthony Weaver, I'm sure y'all, I love the black man getting a chance. I ain't hiring nothing from the Dolphins on defense right now. Oh, my God.
Did y'all see where he was?
Oh, my God. Oh, my. Touchdown, Texans. That's what you were talking about, Josh. I'm on a little delay. I'm streaming. The Texans just recovered a fumble after the Texans just did everything on defense. They've done everything. They have whooped.
He came from the slot. He was out by the. I'm looking like, what are y'all talking? He is out by the slot.
Oh, thank you for that, Josh. I may change my tune a little bit. Anthony Weaver was the former assistant head coach of the Ravens. I'm not mad at it.
So
I'm not mad at that.
So let me return to this. I will tell y'all what I think. I think that 1A was Kevin Stefanski. I think that, and I said this last week, I don't know what to judge on Kevin Stefanski because of the stench of the Cleveland Browns. I don't think that's fair for me to judge either way. I think going into that situation, it was an unwinnable situation, and he got coach of the year 2 years. So I think he possibly could be a decent coach. I think Clint Kubiak and their offensive coordinator was 2. Excuse me. I think when Harbaugh came available, he become 1A, most important. If we can get him, he changes things for us because he has a pedigree of winning that none of these other guys have. Just harsh reality. Harbaugh immediately, like the things that we lost this year, not doing, getting the play in, being ready, penalties, you expect Harbaugh to clean that up immediately, without a shadow of a doubt. I would also really like to see Robert Saleh in Atlanta. I think that him and Ulbrich would, and I think that Mike McDaniel, I don't think that this is a conversation for head coach. I think that this is an interview for offensive coordinator. I'll be completely honest. After the things that I heard about Miami and him being the head coach, I don't think that it's even wise for him to try to be a head coach right now. I think he does need to sit with somebody who has a more authoritative figure and figure out how to be a head coach and be able to run a team and make sure that they respect you day in and day out consistently, because I think that was a big part of the reason that he was not as successful as he could have been.
I agree. I think Harbaugh is probably 1A. I don't think Harbaugh comes here though. I do think that they like Stefanski because he's an outside zone blocking guy. If you noticed, especially with Stefanski and Kubiak, and even to an extent, Mike McDaniel, were all zone blocking. And I think that Matt Ryan is going to want to make sure that we stay a zone blocking team. I like Robert Saleh. I think he would be a great coach. I don't know if I want any more defensive coaches right now. I don't want to. I know that's cutting off almost half the coaches, but if you look at the turnover of coaches, most coaches that get fired quickly, not even get fired. You don't even have to get fired. Most coaches that lose their staff are guys that have to replace the offensive coordinator. And all of that. I think it's easier to replace a defensive coordinator than it is an offensive coordinator, especially in a league that is geared more towards offense.
I agree.
So I would like to see an offensive guy. You're right. Stefanski has the stench of the Browns. Double entendre. That's a good joke. Has the stench of the Browns on them. But he is an offensive guy. And now that, once people get fired.
And a 2-time coach of the year. Like, that ain't easy.
Once teams get fired, once coaches get fired, they start really letting you know how they felt. Like, man, I ain't never want Deshaun. I ain't never want to do this. I didn't want to draft this person. This was my thoughts. And a lot of the stuff that we're seeing was personnel based, which was interesting. But I'm all in on Kubiak, to be honest.
That's also why, like, it was a lot of the Shedeur Sanders thing to me is, don't bring more shit in here to me. I got enough shit on my plate. No offense to Shedeur, but I'm trying to get the spotlight off of me. And I already am dealing with Deshaun Watson, Freaky D, and now you're going to bring another person who is going to bring another spotlight to me, and then we already drafted this other guy. This is what gets coaches fired. It's not about whether you like the guy or not. He's just not good for my career matriculation. Harsh reality.
But Stefanski is supposed to be the offensive guy that develops quarterbacks, which is also what you need when you have a young QB in Penix. You're supposed to be able to teach him how to
get under center.
Yes. Now Penix said that's all BS, that he knows how to get under center, which is what you should say. But
I think that Zach Robinson, Raheem Morris, this piece signed for you, this one for you. Deuces. Y'all get it. But either way, we're going to continue to monitor the coaching situation. As people have brought up in the group, I mean, the Steelers are playing pretty terribly right now. And they're losing to a team. DK drops another one. I think a guy told y'all about that guy. 2 teams ago or a team ago. I think that, there could be a possibility that Mike Tomlin's fired after this game if they continue to play like this. And they continue to get worse.
Aaron Rodgers getting hit every play. Stefanski failed with Baker. Why would he be good for Penix? Well, first of all, Baker's biggest fan is right here. So Norwood, I'm gonna let him answer. But I don't think.
What do you mean he failed with Baker?
I do
every
think it was
coach,
a lot of outside noise for that.
Every coach and every quarterback has failed with the Browns for the last 20 some odd years. I tell y'all all the time, and this is one of the things I give the Ravens the most credit for. If you have a good organization, y'all are going to find a way to figure it out. The Browns are a terrible organization. I joke with y'all all the time. If Jesus came down and y'all gave him a headset, he'd probably be like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to do this. Put me on the cross. I'm out of here. The Browns are a terrible organization. But even in that, Baker played his ass off for a year. He won Coach of the Year twice. That was the best Browns y'all have seen in recent.
The last time he got the playoffs.
Yeah, he got him to the playoffs. So, yeah.
In that division that y'all swear is so good.
Right. And this is a Ferrari we got over here.
Plug and play.
This ain't a Ford Bronco. It's a Ferrari. So, yeah, I think that I'm very clear. And I also will say that I've taken that from what I've seen to happen with quarterbacks, specifically quarterbacks that come from New York. Just because you go somewhere and you're bad doesn't mean that you're bad. You might need some development, and you might need to get away from a bad organization to show how good you are. And I think that the same thing that happened with Baker, and now he's a franchise quarterback for the Buccaneers, I'm unsure about Stefanski. I agree, Nick Chubb being hurt, but I feel like y'all still had what was the other guy who got in trouble? Kareem Hunt. There were multiple guys that the Browns had, but once again,
so you don't believe Stefanski was a bad coach then, J-Rod? At the time.
I don't think that you could say that. They're like the Wizards. Your organization, top down, continues to make bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. Everybody don't suck. You can say Baker Smith. Baker, until this year, was one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL for the last 3 years. Production only.
Baker's
since he's been in
4 offensive coordinators, head coaching jobs too.
Right,
3 years. So, I mean, we'll see. It remains to be seen.
I'm not sure about Stefanski. I just not gonna put. Right, I agree, J-Rod. I 100% agree. I don't know if you're good or bad. You came into a rough situation, and I'll be honest. The new guy who gets hired with Cleveland, what you gonna do with Deshaun Watson?
It's even a worse situation because Deshaun is capped is 90, 75.
You know who the answer is? Is you hire David Tully, waste a year of his life. I don't know how old David Tully is now. Then you call Lovie Smith and waste a year of his life. Then you hope that the draft shakes the right way and you don't get Bryson, you get CJ Stroud. And then you rehab your entire image and even the racist parts, and you become the Houston Texans. But it's the ownership has to get out of the way. And I will say the Panthers have done a really good job of hiding their owner in a broom closet somewhere. We don't have
that dude. Then hey, go play in your band over there.
James Dolan. I was about to say sometimes you got to do like the Commanders. Get him out of there. But whatever it is, those are the type of things that are ultimately like coaches gonna come and go, players gonna come and go. Your leadership, your top down part, and same thing with the Falcons. Arthur Blank keep hiring coaches that don't never be winning. It's the reason we continuously be mid. It's just a part of the game. And the teams, you look at certain teams, the Steelers, even when they suck, how are they in the playoffs? They are terrible. The Lakers, they going to find a way to spin it.
That does give me pause for concern that he fired 2 OCs, gave up play calling twice, and it was more excuses. Well, look, I already told y'all I'm all in on Clint Kubiak. So
I'm all in on Harbaugh given the opportunity. I think that I would like a coach with pedigree, and I think that Arthur Blank needs to pay whatever it costs for a coach with pedigree because we've never had that. We've never had a guy coming in and be like, hey man, this guy's a winner. We've never had a proven winner. We've taken guys who are either unproven or losers and said, make it happen.
Does Harbaugh keep Ulbrich? Y'all know Arthur Blank in that statement, all of that said, hey, basically, when he says, I'm going to recommend somebody to be defensive coordinator, it's, hey, you need to keep Ulbrich.
Was Dan? I mean, Dan. I was like 7 then. Was Dan Reeves a winner? I guess he was. Maybe
he came from Denver. Where did Dan Reeves come from? Washington. Washington.
Don't get me. I'm. I don't know. That's kind of like the Terry Fontenot of it, where maybe I got to get rid of somebody good to be better. We had to get rid of Rich McKay. I hate that we had to get rid of Terry Fontenot, but Rich McKay needed to go way worse.
Jesus Christ, we should have. Yeah, but I mean, for the Falcons, it remains to be seen. They have completed all these interviews. They're also interviewing more people. We'll give you guys any type of update. Harbaugh kept Rex Ryan. He keep the DC.
And I think that what Ulbrich has done, and the reason I think he probably has to, is we got so many sacks this year. We had franchise record. And if y'all not Atlanta fans, so y'all don't know this, we have been begging for a pass rush for the better part of my adult life. And you finally found a guy who's found a way to get, I mean, we went from last in sacks 2 years ago to second in sacks this year. Only behind the Denver Broncos, who got matching bookend ends that are just unstoppable.
And also the defensive player of the year at corner.
All facts. So for us, I don't think that would be wise. And I think that he's coached well enough to keep his job. If you look at what he's done with those guys, incorporating 4 rookies, 3 of the top 5 defensive rookies, I think that
turning out guys like LaCale London, who were journeymen, to turn into not great, but really good players. All those defensive players we drafted in 20. I think that's even bigger for me is that 2024 draft.
Divine Diablo. You took a risk on a guy who is and created. I mean, he's not created a new position, but that was a big risk taking a guy who's basically a safety and like, all right, well, this is going to be our new middle linebacker. I know he's undersized and the defense knocked it out of the park. The only thing where this team really didn't knock it out of the park was Raheem getting shit done and not fixing special teams. Like, it's all operational things. Everything we have under the hood is good.
I don't even think our quarterback situation is bad. It's not. I mean, it's not the worst. But I mean, I think
our quarterback situation is about as good as it's mid. I mean, look at everybody else. The Dolphins don't have a quarterback. Jets don't have a quarterback. Raiders don't have a quarterback. Colts don't have a quarterback. Browns don't have a quarterback.
A lot of teams that you don't want to be associated with. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, what I'm saying is they're like, realistically, there are 12 teams now it's probably close to 15 teams that don't have quarterbacks.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, Schwartz is actually being interviewed for the Ravens, J-Route. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna definitely pay attention to who we're gonna hire. To me, and this will be my final thought, interviewing all these people means that I think they already have their person in mind. Mm-hmm. I think Clint Kubiak or Harbaugh is it. I don't think anybody else is it. I think Mike McDaniels would be coming in as an offensive coordinator. Although, if you bring in Kubiak, I don't think McDaniels comes because McDaniels is going to want to call his own plays.
Right. He's going to try. He has to prove again that he is who people believe, the boy genius they believed him to be. So he's going to be, I need to call plays. I think that this is an opportunity, number one, when
call plays with Shanahan, though. That's my thing is he ain't call plays with Shanahan.
Yeah, but I think that was the last time he'll do that. I think that no, I'm not doing that anymore. I did that because I was sitting next to a kingmaker. When I leave here, my reputation is I call plays. That's my juice. And if you don't have me, then I saw that. I don't think that's a great fit. I think that's the worst fit. Honestly.
McDaniel's being, yeah. I don't think the Browns, and I guess this could take us to our NFL conversation. We can kind of leave the Falcons. I don't think the Browns. I think the Browns are going to need, like, honestly, the Browns like need a Harbaugh. Like, they need a culture guy.
Oh, yeah.
They need a
100%.
culture guy.
Yeah, and you need a guy to go not down, but up. You need a guy to check the people above and say, hey, we got to change the way that this shit is looking. And that requires y'all doing things different up top so that I can do this. And I think he's probably the only guy with the pedigree and the gumption to say it. Like, let's be real. Y'all not running, like, if this was a company, you're running this company very shitty. And if you continue to do the same thing, you're going to get the same result. I didn't come here for that, and that's not what I do. I win to varying degrees, but I'm not going to come here and lose.
The Steelers are probably about to lose 24-6.
Now, this is the
Ravens,
one.
I mean, or 20-6 as the Texans are now driving.
I will say,
the Ravens fan says the way this game is going, the Steelers may move on from Tomlin.
Okay.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. Would you add Tomlin to the list to be interviewed?
1,000%. Hand deliver. Immediate. I'm taking the pedigree guys before because they come with something that these other guys don't come with. Period. No, J-Rock, I think that y'all have had multiple good teams. I think that y'all have, there it is. I think that y'all have had multiple good players, but organizationally, y'all got to get the shit together. And I think that it's above the head coach because all these head coaches ain't terrible and all these quarterbacks ain't terrible. It's something in your admin leadership where they're not getting it done consistently. But
you know what I think? Y'all did Sashi Brown wrong.
With their root on him.
Y'all did Sashi wrong. He went and cleaned up y'all books. He got all them draft picks and get everything, and then y'all fired him after he did all of that for y'all.
And
Tennessee, look at Rand. Y'all doing wrong. Y'all
they did Rand Carter wrong and
come in and clean it all up.
Right.
Now I hope Falcons we don't do that. I hope we ain't get no root. I ain't, we throw the garlic over the shoulder in Atlanta. But my fans from Louisiana, dog. Y'all got to make sure that y'all can't be doing some of these folks wrong, man.
I will say that if Cleveland is serious about doing something, they give Harbaugh whatever it takes. They give him the Godfather deal. What do you need to make us respectable again? I don't care what it takes. You can fire everybody. You can start over. Control, Alt, Delete. I'll give you 7 years guaranteed because I know you got to get rid of the, we still got Watson, but can you fix us? I think that they need to do whatever it takes because no other team is where they are the most consistently. We don't get to the highs, but we don't stay in the lows. But see, that's the thing.
31. You're right. But you can't get the quarterback right. A lot of times you get fired. But Sashi cleaned up a lot of stuff out there and kind of set it up for them. What was supposed to set it up for y'all to be better. But it is what it is.